party people, it's Malco Jojo with another little video. Don't know if anyone's watching these, but I'll keep making them. Today I want to talk about paper products, paper craft, different ways that you can use paper in your hobby. So I figured I'd start with the Moore Estate. So part of the thing is, there's people who sit there and do things like this, lay down actual wood and little slats and stuff. I don't want to do that. That's not where my focus is. So I did some looking around, and my go-to, and this is not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form, I'll say it up front, but my go-to is Easy Print and Cut on Etsy. And the reason why I say that is I've used them multiple times and they have a fantastic selection, and I really like the life that it brings to my little sets. So, like I said, there's different ways people go about it. You can actually make these windows and put them in a physical wall. You can lay wood slats down and all that. But for the purpose of, what I'm doing, I chose to go for printed items. They actually hold up really well in photography, and it's a lot less expensive and a lot simpler to do. And it gets me moving, which I like. So in this one area alone, there's a majority of it is Easy Print and Cut. The windows here, and what they do is they give you two different kind of backgrounds for the outside. There's that one, and there's that one. So they're a little different, so you're not just mirroring it. And then I actually put in these little symbols up here because they're witches, and I figured that would be kind of a cool thing to put in there. So I just popped that in with my Photoshop knowledge. This image here, this photo, picture, is Easy Print and Cut as well. And the cool thing, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to take it off the wall, but even the way these are made, it wraps around so that when it's off the wall, you could actually see the back of the photo to show the frame and the picture hanger and stuff. It's really well done. This one is the same way. And then there's one over in Cindy's place as well. The stove is Easy Print and Cut as well. And again, how these go together, you have the paper that you buy, and then you print it, and then you follow the instructions for folding it and putting a little bit of foam core in to make it stiff, and that's it. I did the same thing with this fantastic piece down here, this table. And again, if you were to buy a wooden table in 6 scale, it's going to cost you, a lot of money. And this was basically printing the sheets and, popping in some foam core to make it solid. And a figure can sit on this desk. It's super solid. And the detail, when you're back here taking photos, it's fantastic. Even up close, it's not bad. It gives a good sense of depth. Same with this wainscoting. Again, this is flat. This is just flat paper. But when you look at it from back here, it looks like it has depth to it, and it's a great way to go. The wallpaper, again, from them. And then I added a little detail of this little trim here on both sides. And then they give you this trim piece up here as well. It goes along with the wainscoting and the wallpaper. So it all goes together really well. I think I had to upscale this. I think it came in 1/12 scale, and I upped it to 1/6, this based on measurements. But I might be lying about that. I can't remember. They have some 1/12 scale, and they have some 1/6 scale. And the beauty of it is, since it is digital, you can just up-res it a lot of the time. So essentially what I did was If this was the case, I've done this, a couple times before. If it is 12 scale, you just figure out how big you want your windows and just take them into Photoshop or some other photo program and just make them that size. And there you have it. Works really well. I did that with this door here, again from them, I believe, Easy Print and Cut. And then I put it on a piece of foam core, I believe, just to get a little depth. So when you get around the edge, it actually has like a little depth to it. That worked out pretty well as well. And then this, I kind of screwed this up a little bit with my measurement. It has a little line that I kept wanting to go back in with a little brown just to make that white, not so white. But yeah, this is, all paper essentially. And then I ordered this from a shop on Etsy, and this chair goes with it. And so those are the real kind of pieces, as well as this gizmo I got from Daiso. It's just like a little organizer that I turned into a bookshelf. So there you have it. So the benefit is it's far cheaper and requires far less skills. Like, I've seen people build these desks for reals, and it's fantastic. The drawers open, all this kind of stuff, but I don't have those kind of woodworking skills. But I do know how to cut paper and fold. So, and then what I do is I use something that you have to be careful with, but it's fantastic. It's called Rocket Card Glue. This is an English product, I believe. And this stuff is fantastic. I tried other glues, just standard white glue, pain in the ass, especially when you're trying to build something like this. This stuff works really quick, super quick. I use it on all these pieces, the stove, the desk, and you just need to practice a little bit, because it does go so quick that it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to fix it if you screw it up. So you really want to measure twice, cut once kind of thing on this kind of stuff. But it works super well. I highly recommend it. And it's really fast. This thing went together really quickly with it, and I didn't have to wait for it to dry. I just kept moving forward. It was fantastic. So that was a big recommend for me. With these kind of things, I tried the 3M product, wasn't happy with it. It fell apart on me. So I went with this Simple Elmer's spray adhesive. You don't put a whole lot on because you don't want it to get too soggy, but spray the backs, measure it, make sure it's all fitting properly, spray the back, and voila, there you have it. That's the super combo right there. And then what I did was, this is just mounted on foam core. So foam core is just a product that's paper, if you're not familiar with it. 2 layers of paper on this side, paper on the other side, with a layer of foam in between. And again, super cheap, super light. And then you can do stuff like I mentioned in my other video, where you can build a set and actually fold it up, especially if it's paper, if you plan ahead. So there's that. More paper goodness. This I got from another Etsy seller, and I'll have to put the link in the notes below. And then this was another Etsy seller from Greece, I think. And this stuff is really cool. Let me see if I can zoom in. It's a paper, but it does have a little bit of texture to it. So that worked out really well. And then this is all paper as well. These are all flat, super flat. And the books are flat. These books are flat. But again, when you get back here, you can see they look, they have a good sense of depth, and it works at a full range here. So it really sells it. Same with the drawers here. Oops. Move this. Even though they're flat, they still photograph really well, and they have some dimension. And it really, people were really blown away. Keep moving this. blown away by this being flat, not real books in there. So again, it saves a lot of time and effort. These are paper as well. It's a little more obvious. I believe those are easy print and cut as well, and I just up-resed them. And they give you these cool things as well. That fit in really well. And then over in Cindy's, same thing. I did kind of a double wainscoting or triple, and cut it to fit just because I wanted it to be seen. And if I knew it had all this stuff in here, so it wouldn't really be seen if it wasn't high enough. So I just made it super high. And then it has this cool wallpaper that they had. I'm like, oh, perfect for Cindy's room. And that worked out really well for that. Again, it really sells it nicely. And then as far as the other paper stuff goes, more paper here. The bricks paper. I'm not gonna sit there and futz with bricks. I've seen people do a cool thing with bricks where they actually carve it into foam core. Not foam core, pink insulation foam, and then paint and weather them, and that's definitely a good way to go. But I just saw this and I'm like, oh, this will work for what I'm looking for, and just went ahead and printed it. The signage, all that kind of stuff, all those are printed as well. And even this, oops, not pages lengths, but this is just printed. It's a little display cabinet. You don't really see it, but it looks like it's a display, you know, in a coffee shop, with all sorts of delicious treats in there. So yeah, you know, you can cheat a lot of this stuff. And you know, that door going out to the patio, paper, with a cool, you know, looks like there's a patio back there. You know, it's a good way to go. It's an inexpensive way to go. If you do have a good printer, I highly recommend it, because it is so much cheaper and so much faster and so easy to do when you're just using foam core and some spray glue, and there you have it. So the plan is, you can see with this, it has this flooring here, and this flooring, of course, I'm going to carry that over to Cuppa in the renovations I plan to do there. I'm actually going to do redo this table, maybe make 2 tables here, I'm not quite sure, make them smaller, and just raise them up, because as it stands now, this doesn't really go with this particular video, but you know, it's fine. It's a sneak peek at the future. As it stands now, this is a little too low, so when I have a figure sitting in here, their legs are bumping up against here. It just doesn't work very well. So I'm going to build another series of these tables, raise them up so I don't have that problem anymore. There may be some additional seating back here. Right now there's seats, but you don't really see them. So I figured if I did some, like a thing on the wall here, like a high boy kind of situation, it would give people a place to stand and have coffee, and I'd have another photo op area there. And I may put something in here in the back, but it may be like a little stage area, so we could have open mic nights at Cuppa. I'm still planning that out, because I do like having the music in here with the lighting and all that. And then where the paper comes in is I'm going to, you know, this flooring is fine. This is just a piece of wood, pressed board wood. But I think what I'm going to do is kind of play around with this kind of thing where I have tile that I put down. So I might do that and do it at an interesting angle. So it's not just squares going this way. It would be kind of like this is here. So it is at a little slight angle to add some interest when I'm shooting. You won't really even see it that much, but I don't want it to be too busy as well. So I might go with something like this color where it's just more of like a lighter color. But I think I might go for more of a wood look like this, but with a little less busy pattern. So I think that would be the go-to for me, because I like the coziness of like this room with the wood. I really like wood in this stuff, and so I think having wood flooring here would really make this nice and warm, and go along with the warm brick and the like as well, and the wood furniture. So I'm going to use balsa wood and regular kind of sheets or pieces of wood here to build these new tables, and I'm going to stain them, paying attention this time to the fact that I use this Gorilla hot glue. And last time when I was working on this guy up here, I built it and stained it. I was really happy with how it turned out, and then I realized that the hot glue, because this was all built, and then I stained it, and when I stained it, this balsa wood and stuff just sucked up the stain and actually broke the bond of the hot glue. So all these pieces started falling off, and I had to actually re-hot glue the whole thing. So that was a lot of fun. But now I know. Now I know. So I'll have to make a return of this patio now that summer is getting a little more cool. This is that paper again. You can see how it has a little bit of that texture. Again, this is just paper, and I went ahead and cut it up and made this cool little seating area. This is just foam that I spray painted to get that kind of stone look. So again, you know, paper is your friend. You know, I could have sat there and carved this out of, you know, pink foam or something, painted it, weathered it, but instead I just laid paper over it. So a little bit longer today talking about paper products, but I figured it was worthwhile. If you do have a good printer, I tell you, it's 100% the way to go. I will give links to the non-sponsor Easy Print and Cut and some of the other paper places I go to, just to give you guys a foot up if you're not aware of the wonders of paper already. And let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.